NFT Game Day.
I mean, I do. Oh, that's crazy. So I've been building. Okay, so here's the story. Um, I had to get CurseForge, and I haven't just to get the way that I'm building my new latest. Haven't been able to build in a long time anything. This connecting the tribes thing we've talked about on the show a bunch of times. I can't stop thinking about it. And like obviously we're going multi-chain this year. TC and everybody who's here this morning, you guys all know what we're talking about. But so I wanted to build a dome that basically made the Cathedral 2.0 dome look like pretty small, which is insane. And have basically like just a giant futuristic Grand Central Station theme, with pods off to the side. And anyway, so I'm using the thing where like you can basically put a ghost of the build in there, right? And I can't use normal Minecraft, so I'm using the other one, which is all fun. Anyway, so I just came back into the normal one that actually, because I don't have any shaders on the other one, so I don't know how anything really looks because it all looks like super vanilla. Anyway, this is the foundation for it. It's big enough you can't see the other side without getting a little bit cute about it. And the normal portal hub's just over there.
Nice.
This is fucking real big. Anyway,
it looks cool with the moon reflection there.
Right? So yeah, the dome is gonna be pretty fucking high. It's gonna be 100, because the radius of the main dome is 100. So it's gonna be really big. And all around it, there's going to be pods like this, which like I didn't really intend to do it this way. I was just kind of fucking around with it this morning, but I kind of don't hate it. It's sort of like the under construction vibe. And I'm going to get like some stained glass and normal glass and do like really interesting kind of patterns with it. But this is where all the Ethereum portals are going to live.
Here. Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
And we're very likely doing a deal with Newcoin, which is another blockchain that's booting up. They're connected to a social media app that has tens of thousands of artists on it. So we're gonna have the really good chance of doubling the number of people in our ecosystem just with that one connection, which is really cool. And then again, if we don't so that might go over there, and right, and like I imagine like Terra will have to be over there, otherwise Jimmy's gonna beat the shit out of me.
Oh man, you know what else I'm excited about too? Like because I've been doing a lot of research. We've got new. I talked about this a little bit last night, but got a bit of a new show schedule, and we're booting up more people. Sometimes it'll be Corey and I at this time, but Corey's also going to do some shows that are more geared towards the West Coast of the US a little bit later in the day, and I'm going to do some shows my morning, so we can go around the clock. But we've got some people that are going to start appearing on our show from Solana as well. Terra, Solana, Ethereum, and like a lot of different blockchains. I think you're going to see represented in here, and it might take a little bit of time to get the worlds booted up. Some of them, but there's tons of NFTs in the world already from all of these projects. So like just having this hub, I think is going to be really cool to boot it up.
Right. And this is the thing too. Like I'm envisioning a few billboards in here. And like down underneath too, because I'm gonna make floors underneath. Like we feature all the projects that come in and do anchor things. But like just imagine like you've only ever been to Ethereum, right? Because you're new to the UpLifters experience.
Right.
So you went to the portal hub, you're like, oh, that's interesting, and you walked over here and you're like, okay, this is how I get to my place. Cool. And then you walk in here, there's a giant dome that covers the sky. Like it's a lot. It's like, kind of artsy and patterned and crazy or whatever, but there's like here and here there's like a couple billboards for events that are going on at Ethereum pretty soon. That's cool. Right. And I started thinking, Jimmy, like what if in the middle I basically host a building contest every month so that a gallery or an artist or whatever can basically have their build in this thing every month, but it's from all the chains, right? Like this is where everyone's rubbing shoulders. Like you just met somebody from freaking EOS over there. Just kidding. We're never going there. Just kidding. We are actually going there. Just want to bust their balls a little bit. But like, like you're walking past people from Terra. There's billboards up from every chain, right? Like there's like an amazing Terra drop and somebody wanted to have a billboard in here from that. or Solana, if and when we actually get over there or whatever. Like just in here, I'm just seeing this amazing hive of everybody from all the tribes, rubbing shoulders.
So we were talking about this the other day when you started building it. Just you and me were on a chat together, and so I was thinking about this because, like, one of my favorite things in all of the Uplift is in UpLifters Tower, where we just have that one random space portal right down in the center. It's really cool, right?
Yeah.
And so this is going to be really cool because it's going to connect all of the different blockchain worlds that we're going to branch out to. But like I think you mentioned, maybe we leave the wax one where it is because that's the original one. My suggestion would be right in the center of this whole thing. We just basically put like the pre liftoff like shrine with a portal to like just a couple blocks over to the old portal hub for the wax one, and that can just be like encased in the center. This is where you need to go.
I love that. I love that idea. So even if again, like I think even if we had like a basically an area in the middle that was kind of carved out or whatever, but like straight in from the door, basically, like right here, really close to the center. You're absolutely right. So that the old portal hub and new portal hub are connected, which makes a lot of sense anyway, right? Because like the player experience for the thousands of people that are going to be coming in to our ecosystem from these other tribes, it will be like, hey, you're in the portal hub. This is the our traditional lands. Like, go to Genesis. It's fucking crazy. Go check out this or whatever, right? And have all the different things that people can take a look at on the blog. And there's going to be lots of missions too, right? Like there's going to be tons of things where to play certain parts of the game, you're going to have to go to these other places, which is kind of some of the stuff we started brainstorming in the last little while. But yeah, having that like connected instantaneously so that people can just get over here like right off the bat, from the first little player experience is going to be anyway. So between that and hashing out all sorts of freaking how to pay our bills shit this morning, that's been my morning.
Well, I think like most people like tuned in. We had a lot of views. My missus was laughing. She's like, "Hey, really? Like you had to stream by yourself last night, just talking to yourself? Like people tuned in." I'm like, "Wait, like 45 like live views?" Like she's like, "Really?" Like I don't think we had 45 live, but like we had quite a few live, like over 15 or so live. I was just riding the gratitude rail around, but it was pretty hilarious. It was pretty fun. But yeah, like we talked a little bit about what's going on. But I just want to kind of touch base on that. So yeah, we've got some pretty cool news. We're officially a registered DAO that essentially belongs to the community, and we're ready to go to phase whatever moon rocket place. Do you want to make a comment because you got tied up yesterday? I got to.
Yeah, yesterday was yeah. I mean, we made an announcement in the Discord. We had been kind of dropping hints for a few hours. The night before, I got all the documents signed to basically to buy the Uplift from Legend. And of course, the way that was architected was it's actually being sold to the Wyoming DAO LLC that we set up. It's called BluDAC. And so that's all done, right? So the DAO that we control, we're going to be dropping creating a token for it. We're going to be dropping that token. It's going to be available for everyone in June that did all the things, whatever, right? That's all happening, right? And really like it was like pretty sure done, right? Like otherwise we wouldn't have been planning all this stuff. But I wasn't going to feel super happy about it until it was like done. And so it's like done now. Like it's legit. It's final. And we've got a real mission, right, to prove that we can stand on our own 2 feet, and go out there and really change things. And I mean, we're tossing around a bunch of ideas, but really, the thing that I keep getting excited about is the fact that like everybody who owns these DAO tokens, like we work together now, right? Like we've always talked about, like this is there's the team and the community, right? And two really, really amazing functions that kind of work together. Now there's not really any difference, right? There's people with like kind of permanent positions or whatever, but yeah, like it really is now the thing where we all get to kind of not only make this together, but benefit together as well. Like that's what the whole revenue sharing thing is all about. So, I think so many people and the people on this call this morning commenting, Mitzi and TC and Chris and Mitzi and Roger, people like you guys have felt a deep and abiding ownership of what we're doing since the beginning. And I'm really grateful for that. Like, that was the plan, right? And we couldn't execute on the vision to benefit everyone, anywhere near what I knew we would need to move things forward. And so we had to, make a really intense change, and we did. And now that really exists, right? Now we get to start thinking, okay, what happens when we get 5 more blockchains in here, and there's not 8,000 people in the Discord, there's 100,000 people in the Discord, right? When we're on Ethereum and like just getting visibility to 100 different Ethereum projects that are out there, right? Which is the goal for me and Jimmy over the next 90 days. And honestly, like, any help we can get, like getting introduced to any projects that are of decent size, right? Like we need to have communities that are kind of vital, that are, because that's sort of the goal that we want to bring in. That's something we could really use some help on, right?
Well, and so we've got a couple community members that have already reached out to us and set us up with part of our playlist for next week.
Yep.
So I think on Monday morning and chill, we're going to do a special. Well, Corey, because I'll probably be sleeping, but he's going to do a special episode with Cash to Crypto, which is a Canadian exchange. So that's kind of exciting. That'll be airing live, I believe, at noon Eastern Standard Time, and then on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have Skull Club, which was kind of put on our radar by Frame Games and Tiny Miss B. They kind of, got us in touch with them, and they're kind of a really cool NFT project over on Solana. So they're going to come and hang out as well. We've kind of reevaluated our show times. Again, we'll be here 9 o'clock a.m. or 8 o'clock a.m., 10 o'clock a.m. ish, depending upon when people can join us every day. But there's other show times as well. So definitely like and subscribe to our YouTube. Push these out if you get them. Share this around. I just dropped a link in the comments, the Uplift World, where we had all the alpha into the ether with the Uplift DAO. So you need to link your MetaMask wallet by 1st of June, and then you'll be able to claim the DAO tokens. They'll be reserved for you. You don't have to claim them right now. Flow actually put in a little bit of a tweak to the display in Enter.the-Uplift World, because there was some confusion around that. So you don't have to do anything right now. You don't have to claim. Actually, you can't claim. If someone tells you that you can, they're not telling you the truth. They're not us. So be careful. All you have to do is go in there and link your MetaMask. And there's a tutorial if you don't know what MetaMask is, or you don't know how to get one. There's a tutorial that we put out last week, how to create a free Ethereum wallet via MetaMask, and then how to go in and link it to your account. So definitely follow that if you're new to Ethereum or the crypto space. It's pretty basic, but like if anyone needs it. I think we should do some gratitudes, but I also want to.
I want to get a couple of the comments here. We definitely should do that. Mitzi's, talking about first cross-chain blocking or first cross-blockchain game. I think definitely not. I know expansion is on a couple. There's a few that are on a couple. And I always get a little bit leery about doing the first in this industry, because somebody inevitably will come in and say, "No, I did this like 6 months ago." Blah blah blah. Right? But it's exciting. We're definitely among the first. And I think we shouldn't talk about it. We should just do it and show people. But I think like the level at which we're going to be creating inter-blockchain connectivity and in a game context is going to probably be a lot more interesting than anything that is happening right now. And the reason why I think that is, Upliftium NFT minting will be live on all the blockchains, right? When we have it so that you can, crystallize from the survival districts, when you can crystallize, glass into an NFT, or a sword that you want to sell on the blockchain as an NFT, right? Because again, like EOS, the DAO entity, cannot sell anything that would change, the like we can't sell swords, right? But you can, and we would just be helping you do it, right? So, and that, the number of things, the number of ways that gets really interesting is just kind of expands crazily, right? When people are doing that onto Ethereum or onto Newcoin or Terra or whatever, like it starts to get really, really messed up. And I have a dream, and I really hope that Chris is actually in here. Ramses is in here right now. She was laughing at me because she was watching me type to her while I was on here. I think she should throw in the comments her dream, because I think it's really good. But what we've been talking about, like, and I really think that this is going to happen. When all these different kinds of NFTs, because it's not just going to be 3 or 4, right? It's not going to be like just wood or just glass, right? Like, I think the second there's a tremendous amount of demand around any one of these potential functions, we can allow people to crystallize them, and then they go out into the ecosystem, and when, like, the next our planet or our land, for that matter, sees all of these NFTs out there and goes, wait a minute, I can make a game out of these things. And honestly, it's probably going to come from within our community, because somebody, like, it's, you guys are smart, right? But like, when there's 10,000 people out there that have, all these different NFTs out there, and I mean, you guys know it's only a matter of time before somebody like Kate tokenizes them all, right? So like Uplift wood tokens would happen, but not like they did in Farmers World. Shut up, Jimmy. I totally heard it. Not arbitrarily, but because of the function of actual economics that are going on, right? And then you have that kind of interplay between, all of those things on all of those different chains, right? Like the branches on this tree start to expand exponentially in a really, really fun way. Now, and as another example, sorry for this rant, Jimmy. I'm not really sorry, but here I am ranting. The Bored Ape land that is going out, right? You can't walk on it yet. Now, and like, they're huge, so they'll probably figure that out, right? Like, I think they're going to deliver on that basic thing, you would think. But they've got a situation where a piece of those piece of land NFTs drip out resources, right? They drip out, 4 resources at different levels. This should probably sound familiar because our planet did this already, right? It's just a clicker game, right? There's no context, right? Now, they're asking, hey, are we going to be able to use these things in the game to do anything? And they're saying, yes, of course you will, right? And we've heard that story a million times. And again, they're very big. They'll probably figure that out. What gets me really, really excited about where we're at is we're already going to be doing it. And these aren't just going to be like, we're going to name a token like, oh, this is like energy token. Good story, bro, right? Like, it doesn't mean anything, right? When we release these things, they will be because people mined the diamond out of their land. And they got that diamond in their Minecrafts, and they're like, hey, listen, like, I want to mint, 1,000 diamond NFT, right? And then that's out there, and then that gets tokenized, and then that ends up in an LP pool. And there's just like it starts from the functionality first, not hopefully maybe someday painting that functionality on it. Our shit works today, and we're coming at what clearly works for other projects in like an imaginary sense, right? We're coming at that from already having it done. Like, this is already working. You already need glass to build a giant glass dome in survival worlds. There's already demand for it, right? So this just is a way to create the infrastructure layer so that everybody can start playing around with it.
We already have it. Like, we've done that, and we've achieved it with shops. It's just really not
now,
movable,
right? Now
what happens, because we talked about this, what happens when there's an economy that crosses metaverses for glass here and glass over there? What happens when,
right, like in the same survival district, right? You can have a planet on Terra, a map, Uplift map on I call them planets. I always have. It doesn't make any sense, but who cares, right? You can have a planet on Terra that's part of the grander survival district, right? The first one, Chris keeps envisioning that there will be more, and she's probably right? As world DAOs start to vote on slightly different economic rules, they're going to end up getting slotted into different economic zones. That's just the way that's going to work, right? Which means we're going to have totally different collections for these things, because they're going to need to be separate, outside, inside. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. The ability for people to, like, you're going to be in that world in Terra, but you're going to be part of the same survival economic zone as Chicken Ka, right? And so that survival zones collection will have to exist on all of the chains eventually, right? as there's enough demand for us to kind of boot up the crystallization process for it. But then, yeah, you might be buying like crystallized glass NFT or token for that matter on Terra to bring back in to go back in ChickenCon and do your mega build. And this is just the stuff we know before doing it. Like, we know that's going to happen.
And what happens
then add on what we don't know, because that's a lot.
Like resource shortages, the potential to actually earn yield in other, click to earn games with these resources, the potential to have them stake. There's a ton of really interesting dynamics at play, I think, when the DAO kicks off. So I like this. One of my favorite offbeat sitcoms was actually I think it was like Hotel something Babylon or something. It was like a British comedy. So I can totally picture this actually.
Yeah. So Chris's dream, she was typing this to me, we're, having our morning back and forth in Discord. And she's like, yeah, I had this dream. The Uplift community was like the staff of a sitcom hotel when a big investor was coming. We were all running around, having events and making the world look really good for ETH people. Yes. So, and I guess this is the thing too, right? So like the order of operations for what has to come next. We're going to be doing all these shows with Ethereum projects. Anybody watching this in the sound of my voice who knows anyone that has a really good Ethereum project that you think would be amazing neighbors, to have in these, Ethereum worlds, right? And get their entire community with it. Send them to me or Jimmy, please. And we'll have them on the show and we'll offer them, right? We're going to give them a tour of like, show them all the amazing things you guys are building and saying, listen, like, we're going to create this thing. Like, this is going to happen with or without anyone, right? One of the people in our community has suggested you guys have an amazing community and you be awesome neighbors, right? So we want to offer your community a free piece of land in this new map. And, you can start building now. Like, we want to get this map booted up pretty quickly, right? So that, we can get a bunch of communities actually in there building. And so that means people are going to have to walk through. They're going to have to go to this thing. They're going to have to go through all the thing while I'm building it, right? We're going to be all under construction. And that's going to create a lot of noise, right? And they're going to build something and we're going to put a banner up for them. And, you guys are going to be able to come and meet them and see what they're doing and connect with what they're doing. It just creates a lot of noise and a lot of visibility, right?
It does wonders for our economy too. Like, where are you going to get the resources, right?
Well, and even more so, like the goal here, guys, very simply, now we're down now, right? You're going to be able to track, we have to make enough so that we have to have some runway, right? Like, that's my goal, and I'm obsessed with it. And, poor Chris has been having to deal with me for the last like 36 hours because I'm like down in the dirt figuring this out, right? And it's not a simple equation. There's a lot of moving parts, but we need to get some basic runway. Once that's done, right? And if we do really well in Ethereum, if we do, really well going to these other chains, and you guys all know we fucking can, right? Like, we can get things going to the point where it's so exciting that people are desperate, freaking out, trying to come and hang out with us because you guys are amazing. Like, when we get there, what happens if we do 5 million in revenue this year? Right? If we do, 30% of that is going out to those DAO tokens, and every one of you is making money. I mean, that's like, it's all of the economic things, like all of the things that are in the game, all those things are totally true, right? But what happens when we're actually getting to the point where we're making so much because we've added, 5 times the number of people that were in the Uplift before, we've added, 500 communities from 5 different blockchains. Like, we can do some real damage. I don't know where you are, but it's amazing.
We're going to be giving, 50 by 50 community plots. Right here on the screen in front of you is 6 of them.
For the record, we're doing 32 by 32. So dial it down. The new maps are very small.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. This is 6 50 by 50 community plots that you can see there on the screen. The one space in the center of the ocean behind you. This is the Chia estate. We did a feature on it. And so, these are huge compared to what the Ethereum, or the Terra or these new, you know,
yeah, I mean,
plots are going to get.
Can you go back left a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Just on that one building, the one tower. Yeah. So that's clearly on a 50 by 50, right? If you go up a little bit, you can see it.
Yeah.
So basically take from the corner of the building, just to visually sort of try and grok it, from the corner of the building to the corner of the lot is probably 32 by 32, right? So it's still big enough to do all of that stuff, minus like a corner where nothing was going on.
It's still big enough, but what happens when you get people that are coming in and they're like, hey, you know, these builds are awesome.
They are.
B,
it's true.
We want to, you know, get plots that are no longer available that are bigger. Where do they have to go? They got to go to the wax worlds, right? And what happens to the value of the wax worlds? I mean, Corey and I are probably going to go in here and check this out a little bit later, but just amazing. And this is, I think, the epitome of, this is, you know, Chia. This is the epitome of what, you know, his community and his friends have been doing. I mean, the fishing derbies that were featured, they're all just featured in this little area, right? He's had 2 or 3 of them, right? I mean, this is it over in Uplift. It was basically the site of the bidding war over in Uplift, and just people, you know, wandering around, creating cool things and trying to, you know, create their own estate. And I think a lot of projects are going to want to do this by connecting their communities and you know, putting in galleries. And I'm pretty excited to see what happens when people from other blockchains come in here and see that this is already a living organism.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? I think you're totally right. Right. Like and I think that where we are strong is that we're doing we're connecting things already. Right. And again, like I think NFT Worlds has started this, and I'd love for people to send me examples of them starting to do really well, because they might, right? Like I think there's a really good possibility. Which would be, we'll learn a lot from that, right? But right now, all these different plots are connected to all these different plots. There's already like real connective tissue. And I was talking about this on Twitter the other day, right? The only real scarce commodity in Web3, or frankly anywhere in the future, is human attention, right? And so, you know, it doesn't matter how many projects like this are out there. It really doesn't. It matters where everybody's attention is going, right? And for me, that attention is going to get drawn to community, connections, and gamification, where it's actually really fun, right? Not just clicker shit, right? But like that artistic creativity that means I want to create this thing, but I don't want to do it in creative like that asshole Corey. I want to, you know, go in survival where it's hard, where like if I build a glass ship in a bottle, everyone goes like, what the fuck? How'd you do that? Right? It's just, there's more juice there, right? So it gets really interesting.
Oh, that's weird. I think my battery and my mouse might die.
Oh yeah. All right.
So I can't.
Well, that's super exciting.
Yeah, you want to exit that Steam screen because I can't.
Yeah, I got. Oh yeah, you can't even. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Got it. Well, and I'm set up to do gratitudes anyway. So we got 8 people here right now. Let's get 10 gratitudes up. Everyone, short gratitude, s'il vous plaît. That's French for right fucking now. It's not. It's French for please. Jimmy, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for great community leaders. We've got a ton of them in the game. Shio's a good example. Mitzi's a good example. TC, there's a lot of awesome people in there that are pulling together events, doing live streams on other blockchains. Theta Crew is really awesome, and you guys are part of the reason that we're gonna kill it when we go places, because there's so much content, so many great builds, so many cool things being put out there by those of you who have kind of stepped up in the community's eyes and done great things in the metaverse or around it.
Oh, that's A, you're totally right. B, Mitzi, good one. I'm grateful for Jimmy's blog posts.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, the one for the sugar hotel, definitely go. It's a pretty fun one.
Awesome. Thanks, TC. Grateful for the future of Uplift. Love that, Steve. Grateful for new beginnings. Hey, if anyone has more popping in your head, like, you're allowed to do too. More gratitude is never a bad thing. And I can't type. Son of a... Yeah, I was actually on a call yesterday with this Roger. I'm grateful for the possibilities of Web3. So I was on a call yesterday with you guys are going to hear me start talking about NewCoin. We're in we got accepted to an accelerator in NewCoin. There's actually going to be a press release about it pretty soon. The Uplifted through our friend Chan, who Jimmy introduces to. She's a badass in and of her own rights. She's just an awesome connector. And you know they're booting up a new blockchain, and we're going to be among the first few projects to kind of help them boot that stuff up. It's really fascinating how they're designing it actually. But it's coming again from this newlife.ai kind of social media platform, pretty much. Anyway, it's just there's we were on there. The lady that was that did the Fashion Week for Decentraland was running this call about kind of community and community marketing in Web 3.0. And she said Web 3.0 is basically punk, right? It's fucking punk rock. You just wrap that around your head and kind of roll with it. What was really interesting too is like watching her entire presentation on that yesterday morning, which is why Jimmy was on his own. Thanks for doing that yesterday morning. It's all stuff. It was just like a confirmation thing for me, right? Like we've been doing this for a year, and everything she listed out, and it was all really, really good stuff. It was stuff that like we've been doing as a community from the jump. So it was really cool because she's sort of a big deal. So anyway, punk rock, yeehaw. All right, Lawrence, I like that one. Gratitude for the natural seasons of nature.
Yeah, actually, so I'll second that because I spent the day out and about today. It's one of the most beautiful times of year in Japan. It's really great to be outside.
All right. Zamogus plus Lapis. That's really hard to say. This is in Genesis. This is Uplifters Tower. If you come into spawn on Genesis, we are, what is it, southeast, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Spawn.
Follow the river through the deserts, past the giant statue of Corey, a little bit to the south, and you'll find the Tuttle building and Uplifters Tower. Or you can also go to where we hide all the alpha.
True.
And research the.
You could look at the maps and get to it that way. It is 2800. Genesis is our address, so you can find us that way.
And actually, Mitzi found her way to the basement recently, and
her
showed
friend.
It on Twitter, right?
Yeah, her friend actually. I'm blanking on her name, but I saw her post on Twitter. She went down and found our original team photo down in the basement down there. It was really cool. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to work here. Grateful for my son's birthday party we are having today. Jordan, that's fantastic. My cat found it. Yes, indeed. All right, I think that's it. Chris, if you're still watching, I haven't seen your gratitude yet. I'm grateful for Ramses generally and her dream specifically. I'm also grateful for a team that can hash tough shit out. Oh yeah. Here we go. Thank you.
Yeah, things are, I think, about to get exciting. I'm really stoked to see what the world thinks of the Uplift world when it starts getting out there. I mean, Wax in general is pretty quiet, and it's interesting. There was a tweet that was put out by Ultra. A really cool demo came out of this new space game, and Anders and a few other people were like, yeah, that looks really cool, but like it's slated for like 2023. Like, can you even get on? Can you even play it? Can you even do it yet? Right? And there's so many of these projects that might have a video that you can go in and you can watch. And if you go over to our YouTube channel, you can find all the DAO art-worthy videos. You can find all of the great videos of the boy plot, the block base plot that like community members and Gary have done and put together. And they're great videos. And they're comparable to all of these other project videos. The difference is that's one person's perspective of something that already exists, that you can go in there and fly around and do the same exact thing and see the same thing and check out the fan art of Star Wars or the NFTs that have been put up, from Mitzi's private collection in her horse drop. Like all of these things, they exist already. They're not just demo videos. I mean, they're things that are actually living. It's pretty cool. So definitely get your builds out there and go and check out other people's builds and send them to us. Because like G-Kid as well, he sent me a message. We featured him a little bit at the end of last night's show. He's been building and putting together this kind of uplift kind of journey of things that he's went through and he's learned about Minecraft and the world since he started. But there were a couple people in the comments that were asking about shader preferences and how do you hook up shaders and so he went through today and he added that to his site. So definitely check that out. And also, if you're using different shaders that other people aren't using, please consider submitting to the Uplift tour bus. Because Corey's in here, he uses the same ones all the time because he likes it, right? I use the same ones all the time because they're really the only ones that work on a Mac. But there's other ones that like other people are using. And like if you come in here and you have different mod packs or different shaders and you're taking photos of these buildings that are here in front of you, what you see is going to be completely different. And I mean, I'm more than happy to feature Uplifters Tower 10 different ways, 10 different times through the vantage point and views of other people, because everyone's going to hone in on something different, right? Everyone's lens, everyone's experience is going to be the same. This isn't a walk into a supermarket and pick up a one-size-fit-all poster that you can hang above your couch. This is like a walk into a department store with a camera, jumping through a portal to Greece yourself and deciding which photo you want to snap, right? This is a completely immersive experience that we've created over here in the Uplift world, not one that you need to sit on your sofa and let other people, run the playbook of where you're going to go. That's what Uplift Tour Bus is for, so we can see your perspectives of the Uplift world and all the cool things that other people have built. And I'm really annoyed because my computer doesn't work. What happened? All right, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Accessibility shortcuts.
What is happening right now? All right. Up in the team tower. What's going on there, Jimmy?
Accessibility.
All right. Jimmy is after. For those of you that don't know, this is the team tower. We put gratitudes up on here. like I think we should start doing huddles, even freaking 15-minute huddles again, if for the only reason that we get gratitudes up every day from the team. Yeah, this thing still exists. Yeah, we're still around. And we just bought ourselves from our parent company, and we're turning it into a DAO this month. So not only still around, but yeah, about to do some very interesting things. Let's put it that way. The Mac is kicking back, indeed. Oh, that's crazy. I thought my screen was still on this whole time. It's not. Oops, sorry. I know this is like super fascinating. Not super fascinating. Here, hold on here. Yep. Yeah, we got a lot going on. Speaking of which, I got trained to do some picture installs. I gotta change these things out. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So the thing's coming up in the next little while. It's funny. I thought I'd shared my screen back before. Anyway, I didn't. I gotta change out. I'll figure that out. Yeah, the stuff going on in the near future now. Everybody has until June 1st to get their Ethereum wallet attached, which I would highly recommend everyone do. Like if anybody, if you kind of own land when we did the snapshot last Sunday, or for however much Upliftium you had used or burned, you're gonna get DAO tokens. 25% of DAO tokens overall are actually going to get gifted to people that are in the community, based on land ownership and Upliftium burned. So, first part of June, we're going to be making the DAO tokens available to everybody. Those DAO tokens are going to be on Ethereum. And there's going to be another snapshot. I don't think we've set a date yet, or probably like in a few months. After we're going to be, launching, a few very small worlds on Ethereum, maybe Polygon or whatever. We're going to be hosting some DAO votes to kind of hone the direction of all that. Yeah, there's just tons, man. Like I think like the getting the community weighing in on like literally every decision that we're going to do, right? Like it could very easily get to the point where there's like too much transparency, but that's kind of the point, right? Like we want to make sure that everything that we're doing is just utterly and completely out in public. That's and people can agree with it or disagree with it. A huge part of my job, I think, going forward is going to be writing some articles and letting people know how I intend to vote on things that come up, and why, right? And really kind of lay it out there. And I know that the community will be having that conversation back with me, and I'm excited about that because I think one thing that freaking Kali Moda, freaking love you, dude. Yeah, with like I don't know if you've ever heard this, Jimmy, but Strong Opinions Weekly Held is something I heard somebody say once. I don't know who to intelligently attribute it to. But I that's the way I am, right? I have extremely strong opinions. The second that I am confronted with evidence that I'm wrong, I will switch instantly. It's just a thing, right? And so like that's going to be the way I'm hoping we can manage this conversation moving forward with the DAO. I will have strong opinions about where we move forward, and I would hope that everybody who deals with me on a regular basis can attest to this. If confronted with evidence that I'm wrong, I actually get excited about that. Being wrong is fantastic. It means I just learned something. And so, it means that we're going to be able to iterate much, much quicker, right? Like that, just scientifically, we will be able to evolve as a project a lot quicker, having that discussion at scale. Anyway.
Well, and as much as I hate this analogy, I mean, I think what the Uplift world is going to become is very similar to the structure of the US, where you've got different states, different regions, different planets that can kind of make their own rules. And so there's going to be really interesting things that come about with this whole kind of like community DAOs and things like that, right? And so I'm kind of excited about it. And yes, the Mac was kicking back. I don't know what happened, but it's fucking.
I wonder if
shackles are on now again. It's
right. One of the things I wanted to ask Wayne about, Chris, or maybe you guys might have some insight on this. One of the things Newcoin was asking if we could do, because they've got some partners in Dubai. It's a whole conversation I had with them yesterday. And of course, we have to, this is all very preliminary, right? So I'm just like sharing brainstorming stuff with you guys, not stuff that has been confirmed, right? Because we're going to be voting on all this stuff as a DAO. They've got some really big partners with Dubai. So we're talking about, maybe taking this new crypto centric. It's like a couple towers in the middle of Dubai. It's like really, really cool. They asked if like we could build that. And honestly, Chia's build is like a scaled down version of that, right? Like if we scaled that up by probably 4 or 5x and had some like expert builders doing it, kind of like, the size of the building in the Crypto Monkey thing, right? Like going at that scale for the centerpiece of a map. And then they're very aesthetic, right? They're all kind of artists and fashion people, and like they just have a really sort of intense feel that way. One of the things that Sophion is the CEO over there. He asked if we could do is like to have the map there, the original kind of artist focused map, there be consistent, right? Basically, have rules around what you could use to build and the palette that you could use within Minecraft, so that it looked like a coherent vision for the entire sort of cityscape, right? That it would be a 1 kilometer map or whatever, right? But so that it basically like expanded out, but all looked like it was one thing. Yes, you get your own creative thing to do whatever you want to do, but it has to kind of be constrained in these specific ways. And originally I was like, you're fucking crazy. That's not going to work. Right? Because I'm used to like Genesis, where it's like everyone can do literally everything they want. But again, like we're going to be bringing in probably a good 1,000 artists, right? From newlife.ai, and these people are all like super duper kind of artists and creative or whatever. And so suddenly I started realizing that again that the sort of, and we'd probably have to do like a world DAO for that, and that blockchain is actually set up for that. So like figuring out how they could kind of self-manage that, right? Because there's no way. All right.
That's very good. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So Jordan, like an HOA for that one world, right? And originally, like I had a hard time wrapping my head around that initially. Within about a half an hour, though, I started realizing like you put a group of artists together who can work on a coherent vision for a cityscape, and own a piece of it, and try and one up each other within the constraints of that palette, so that it still looks and feels like.
Who said Winwood 6 months ago? Damn it! Who said Winwood 6 months ago?
I know, and I know you were kind of, and honestly, that's not to say that.
Get me in that meeting, because we've already got a demo going, right?
We
like,
totally,
seriously, we do. We
had
this whole idea, right?
Okay, that's super interesting. And again, like if it meshes,
right.
let's chat about that today, just in case it makes sense. Yeah, so I think that, and that's just one kind of thing. Anyway, the reason why I was thinking of that is the world for Moon. Right? Like, what if it was a survival world that was the hardest survival world, but there was like, it's the fucking moon. Like, you have to colonize it. Like, you basically die unless you can bring stuff in from other places. So the actual moon. So there's no fucking resources except for fucking regolith and water.
What happens when you what happens when you flip Nemesis? And again, this popped into my head, and I don't know why, because I like to mess with the fucking state of the world. What happens when you flip it around, where you can't extract things from Nemesis? You can only put things in, and it's a fight to the death, right? There's so many,
and that's the thing.
There's so many possibilities, right?
Right, like, and then like if you put glass, I mean, now granted, like this is like a mod that probably doesn't exist or whatever, but the yeah, TC is very upset about this idea. That's a lie, he's excited. But yeah, like having something to go to the moon, but that is, you have to colonize it. It's like hyper resource scarce, right? From the beginning. And you don't have to go there if you don't want to, but it's going to be some pretty rarefied earth, pun intended.
I mean, again, there's so many possibilities.
Yeah, Mitzi, material sink. I freaking
right. There's so many possibilities, and like, again, this is all things that the DAO can think about and have votes on. But like, one of our favorite coverages that we ever did was when Corey and I put together kind of this Uplift crew team that we went and we did it was an epic fail, by the way, because we didn't do it right, because somebody bought a plot way out in the middle of nowhere. But we did the whole we did the whole railroad thing with prospectors. Now, what happens if we say, okay, here's a week, colonize this and don't die, and the top 10 builds or the top 10 things get like community pods. This is all things that can be proposed through the DAO structure.
Yeah.
Like people have great ideas. People have all of these things that can be voted upon that I'm really excited about. Because we got a team of like 10, geniuses in their own right, doing their own things. But we've got a community of 100. Right? Like our DMs are being blown up all the time by people with brilliant ideas and saying, Jimmy, can we do this? Corey, can we do this? Right? Like, people asking questions in the Discord, with Cowie and Tuttle and all of these things that are going on, right? This is the community's chance to be able to step in there and create essentially the state or the planet that they want, right? And if there's enough, backing for that event or that structure, then the DAO can vote on it and it can be done, right? And this is really interesting. This is going to be a really interesting experiment in governance, right? Like I'm going to run for senator and say, why should I be able to do it? Because I've got more wisdom coming out of what the Uplift DAO created than any of you clowns that studied political science at university, right? Like this is an experiment not only in metaverse or not only in blockchain or not only in gaming. This is an experiment in governance that is really going to speak to future generations about how things have changed, in my personal opinion, right? Like the whole structure of DAO is really interesting.
So yeah, TCC, and the more you play, the more you get access to another block. I think like the moon thing, Mitzi's idea about it, like it's such a natural idea that it would be a resource sink, other than like gravel and block and whatever, right? Like there's nothing there except for gravel, block, and ice. Like that should be. I wonder if we could make a biome that was just that. I bet you anything.
You totally can. I mean,
right?
Like, yeah.
And so if that was the case, right? Then having that as just like, because people have been asking for a really hard survival world. Yeah, hold my beer, right? Like if you go outside, like you basically like, I wonder if you could die unless you were in a building. That'd be an interesting mod. And again, like we have so much shit to do. Like it's just fleshing out this idea is kind of we wouldn't be able to do it soon, probably.
But I mean, what happens in 6 months when the DAO takes over and people like you and me actually have time to go and play again?
Yeah, honestly, like I am really excited about kind of having forced myself to like get like finally having that cohesive kind of vision of like, I know we need this building, right? And I see it in my head already, and it's like, a step up from the cathedral. So for me, it's like kind of an epic amount of engineering. And so it sort of, makes sense to kind of go back. Yeah. But yeah, getting to that point where we can actually start playing it would be good. I did want to get to a point though, like TC's talking about, the more you play, the more you get access to a certain kind of block. Now, I don't know if that works for Moon World, which we invented this morning, and it seems like it's already a thing we're going to have to do. But Chris and I were talking yesterday about, and I mentioned it briefly to TC because he's one of my like sanity check people to see if I'm completely insane. And we're talking about a subscription model where you could basically like buy a season pass and it comes with some shards and it comes with like an art NFT and like a bunch of different things or whatever, potentially, right? So basically like you get this season pass and you have to like basically achieve things over the course of that season to get an airdrop of this creative of NFTs, right? Shards and art and shards and something else and like seasons pass for like an event party, whatever, right? We got a bunch of ideas around that, but it really would mean like the more you were engaged, the more you would basically realize the benefit of that seasons pass purchase, which is proven. And this is what Chris Ramses brought up yesterday. She's so right. Like the things like Fortnite, they've proven that as a business it totally works, right? And so for me, I keep sort of trying to brainstorm, how do we get to the point where our current burn rate, we just have like it's just taken care of no matter what, forever and ever and ever and ever, right? And there's a bunch of different ways that we can do that, but this might be one where we can learn from the larger video games in the space, create way more engagement, have people really, really freaking stoked about all the things that are going on in that system, and get that benefit TC was talking about, like the more that you play or achieve these things that we can set out. Like one of the ones, it's just an example, right? The first one would be like, we would have 10 punch signs set up per season, right? So you basically go on a tour and see 10 different builds and punch the sign and boom, now you're good, right? As an idea. Anyway, so have you been to the low gravity rocket and Uplift? I haven't, and that's amazing. Sorry for just the instantaneous pivot.
No, like send me the coordinates. I want to go. But like it's interesting to me when we think about these open season passes, right? Like, I mean, duck hunts are great when you have a season pass, but like what's even better is when the community funds people and tourism to come in from outside to go duck hunting. That rejuvenates all of the businesses within the community. Now, what happens when there's a major player that comes in and has a build that has an event, and they can take these season passes and give them out to their community members to come in, right? Like this is
that's right.
Interesting scenario.
It doesn't necessarily people running event servers, 100%, right? Like the I'm excited to see, and I think this is inevitable. The first time that the community, without sort of core team, whatever, says, "Hey, we want to run an event server. We're going to have 500 people show up. We need passport and NFTs minted for it, and a time for it, and and all they're going to need to do." And Cowie, please let me know if I'm wrong about this. All they're going to need to do that is to hit the events committee up, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Cowie and his team is forming that up. I actually met somebody at NKY. We're talking about something totally different. He's like, "Yeah, I'm on the events committee." I'm like, "What the fuck? That's amazing." And just get that on the schedule and do that, right? I'm excited for people to start availing themselves of that, because I mean, clearly our community is the best in the fucking world,
right? And I'm excited to see what happens. I'm just gonna write about what various communities are doing and various people are doing, because that's all I have time for, and I don't even have time for that. So honestly, like if you're a writer and you want to write your own posts, like send them to me. We'll put them up on the blog. Here's the Chia State article that we did, and it tells a personal story for me too, because I don't do selfies. I'm not one of these like selfie people who goes in and takes selfies. I don't like it. When I've got photographs behind me on the wall. I don't like people in them. I don't like myself in them. I like natural landscapes and stuff, which is kind of weird because like it's my metaversal play too. But Chia, who is kind of adjacent to me in the gratitude rail and let me run through a couple of his plots. He wanted a selfie, and I came in and this is the article that came about, which we were there earlier. Definitely go check it out. But like if you guys are building estates of your own, let us get those out there, because I think the chance of owning one Bitcoin isn't plausible for everyone in the world, and I think there's time is going to come where the chance of owning an estate in the Uplift world isn't going to be plausible for very many people, right? I mean, even in Uplift, it's pretty hard to get those adjacent plots. People are trying to trade other people, and the way that it went out kind of randomized across different people, and it created that economy of trading to be able to get plots that are that adjacent together. We're pretty epic, so I'm pretty excited about that. And we've got some other ones like that are coming up too. Ramsey's in a way is building her own estate in gratitude, which I'm pretty excited for. I won't out her yet, but like if you've got estate builds that you've put together, multiple things, definitely come and check it out.
Yeah, so this is the Chia State article.
Yeah,
and,
that's
a little selfie action. I was looking through this. This is really cool. It got me. This actually started getting me thinking about my crazy pants idea, and then obviously this is amazing. This is actually what did it. So this, if you guys don't know, this is Jimmy. He thinks he's Aquaman, and maybe he is Aquaman. Yep, I'm from Jamaica now. But like, how many PFP projects have we seen? Like the new owl thing that they stole from SCP, and whatever, right? Like, these are fundamentally cooler. This image is cooler than any image that they have, right? And so there's all these procedurally generated ones. What if the procedurally generated ones were everyone in there taking a whole bunch of selfies in a gazillion different places, and we turn that into a PFP project? Because fuck you, we get to do whatever we want now.
So honestly, like look
at this. Like, this is cooler than like.
It is really cool. Yeah.
Right.
And we just wandered
There's
around
this cat because
morning, right?
We're cats now. I don't know. Oh, that is kind of a cat.
But like,
Anyway, I'm
like
sure that's
Chia
a crazy
himself
idea.
has a collection of you know, all of his events in game. Like I would love to see that gallery of him in there with all of his friends or people that they've met. Just a gallery of selfies in Uplift. I mean, that's just cool in itself, right?
Agreed.
It's definitely worth checking out. I bought some sunflowers because, you know.
Whoa.
If you're wondering why I'm Aquaman, right? Like, this is really good. I'm not a selfie person, but these are some epic selfies. I'm telling you.
Oh, dude, that's so good.
We should put one of those up in Uplifters Tower.
That's fun.
But yeah, like, and I've got a couple plots that are pretty close there. But so I'm kind of interested to see, you know, how this takes off, because again, there's some really interesting people and builds out there. And I mentioned this last night. Like, I know some of you aren't writers. I know some of you don't even like to, like, you know, type up your Twitter name, but that's fine. If you don't like to write, get on camera with me and Corey, and we'll go around and we'll showcase your tool, right? Like, we want to do that. We used to do that back in the early days. We used to go for a walk, and we used to, you know, go in and check out people's builds. And we had somebody put together a kind of Uplift World Tour event, and it was like 2 hours plus of them taking.
Oh yeah,
people.
So do they call themselves MKY or Mickey?
I don't know. I say Mickey, but yeah,
Mickey's probably easier. Anyway, so yeah, no, I had a call with them. They introduced me to an exchange in Canada that is going to be on the show Monday. Yes.
Yeah, Monday at noon.
Yeah, at my new time for, you know, West Coasters or whatever.
Well, actually not, but this one's a little bit an hour earlier. Your new time will be one.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna have them on the show. But that's who Mickey took on this tour. And I had told them about it. And of course, we get to show them some of the videos from some of the galleries and stuff, and they kind of get it. But you don't really get it until you're in, right? Or until somebody else is in, and you're like wandering around, and then you just stumble across, you know, some of these amazing builds. You're like, wait, what? This is like happening right now? Like, yeah, like right now. Anyway, so they're gonna come on the show. They're talking about, and again, this is, you know, you guys get a clue into some brainstorming. We haven't decided anything yet. There isn't anything official. This is very preliminary. But they're talking about helping us create, you know, an Uplift specific way for people to get from fiat into crypto and back out through not only their exchange, but exchanges that they're connected to. And so we can streamline that. We can, you know, incorporate education around, you know, all those different things. Again, we're going to have stuff that's available on multiple blockchains. So, you know, having that all, you know, intermeshed so that all of that stuff can be, you know, we can start reducing friction and increase education kind of all in one section, using and partnering with this, you know, this crypto exchange that can basically go both ways. Jimmy got off camera and started freaking out. So yeah, they swing both ways.
I'm probably not allowed to say. The possibilities of that are
it's intense, right? Like, and again, like, after they were excited about talking to us already. After that tour, I got an email from their CEO. They were like, "This is amazing. We can't wait to like get on your show," and yada yada yada. Like that community member, Mickey, knocked the A. He's the only reason why we talked to him. He introduced them to us, right? But B, like, took it, you know, upon themselves to go out and set this up, and did a tour that was like exhaustive.
Right,
that's amazing.
And he's like,
really showed what, you know, we're capable of doing, and now they want to work with us, which is.
He's like, hey, can you come and join us? I'm like, man, like, I'm stuck in traffic. It's Golden Week here, which is like a big holiday. What, you know? Like 45 minutes later, I mailed him. I just sat down for lunch, and I mailed him. I sent him a message, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. He's like, hey, we're still going. Like, I'm like, what is happening? If you don't know who Mickey is kind of in charge of the Roundtable educators. And the Roundtable educators are the ones that have been putting up these epic video replays of some of the events. They did one of the Chia Hotel Third Fishing Derby. Corey and I watched one the other day of the what was it? The Grand Exchange race, which was like had the bloopers at the end. That was them as well. The Roundtable Exchange. They did, I think, one of the first PvP event that happened over at the Coliseum in Genesis. So I'm pretty stoked. Like, definitely go check out that video and follow the links to the other ones, because like these guys are doing some really cool videos inside the Uplift. Maybe we can even play one actually.
Yeah, so this is just the event spot on it. So yeah, the fisherman's tally. They caught a lot of cod. They caught some raw salmon.
Oh, maybe I put
tropical fish. I mean, like, seeing all these numbers, like, I'm immediately thinking like we should totally have a fishing derby. And
right,
there's just so many things we can do with that.
Right, and so that was at that hotel we were at before. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the sorry, I put in the wrong link. You'll see the Chia Hotel second fishing derby highlight reel, which was Mickey and the Roundtable Educators. They put that together, and they basically went through all the footage and highlighted that. So.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Chris said Corey doesn't talk about the first PvP event. That's the first rule. I do talk about it, but I mean, I can only ever really say two things about it. One, it was really fun, and I can't wait for us to do it again. And two, I got set on fire by my nephew, and he's a little jerk. It hadn't occurred to me that I was going to get set on fire.
Especially by your
boy, did I ever.
So we're going to definitely subscribe to our Twitter.
Yeah, you know, can you guys hear that?
Nope.
So I didn't set this with noise. I'm going to set this with noise. Yeah.
Still though, if you're running videos with Bluebird.
Interlude. Oh, hey, I didn't share it on my thing. I'm new, Jimmy. Just come on, man. This is where we live and work, Jimmy.
Right. And these guys are awesome. Like, if you're doing events, like, he's in the Discord. Roundtable Educators, hats off. By the way, I have to say, maybe one of the coolest names in all of the Uplift is the 7. I have no idea what it means or who it is, but the 7 is the best name ever. So this is an event. I think it lasts about 5 hours, and like
really?
some people just pop in and do some fishing. And they get to keep what they get, but like prizes go out to the winners. But I think like the hardcore people are in here for like hours at a time, fishing and shooting these phantoms that are coming down, which is pretty epic. So there's another post on where we hide all the alpha.com that goes through. I'll put it in the comments. It's Lemon Rivers, who basically did a recap of the event.
Adorbs. Yeah, they're cool. I'm a fan.
All right. So are we gonna? We might do a happy hour this weekend. We're not sure. Definitely keep posted to our Twitter. We might do
either that or like, what do you guys just biting the bullet and doing it tonight?
But that's what I was tonight for you.
Oh yeah, so tonight for me, this weekend for you. Got it. Sorry. Yeah, TC,
Sorry.
The one you were thinking of making into a music NFT, that like you've sent me 5 where you're like physically angry that I haven't made an NFT out of it yet. So I literally don't know which one you're talking about. Sorry. But if you get me a link before we're done here, we can do that. And I don't think like we're here. We still are.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to exit soon. I'm gonna do my regular Edge of Obscurity show over with Sean of MetaCollect. definitely check out what those guys are doing because it's pretty fun, and they've got some really cool stuff that's going to be happening, and we're probably going to be able to showcase a lot of art in the Uplift because of them, of random artists throughout the world. They're doing something that's pretty fun. So, head on over there and check us out. We're going to be talking about the Uplift today. So all the support that you guys can share out and get that will be super fun. Monday, we'll be back with cash to crypto exchange and potentially some other things. Do we have anything else that we want to
I want to see
people with other than a video that TC will get angry at us if we don't?
I'm looking for it. I'm working with him right now to see if I can find it or figure out which one he's talking about.
All right. Well, thank you for all joining us. Thank you all for joining us on this fine Friday. I mean, honestly, it's been a weird week because it still hasn't really set in. But we're in Uplift 2.0 right now. We're gonna bootstrap the hell out of this shit. Well, should I say continue to bootstrap the hell out of this shit? And go where, no uplifter has gone before, starting with the Ethereum DAO.
Right.
This is pretty epic time in Uplifter's life. So, also, again, if you want to go to the gallery,
I think it might be that.
That kind of freaked me out.
And there's a unicorn in there, Jimmy. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, just fucking play that. That's good.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe this is it. Maybe it ain't. But you do get to see. It's funny too. Like I sorry for another story. I'm building a gallery for meta art. They're going to be on the front page of OpenSea for 5 days. So whatever, it's cool. We're building them a gallery in my dodecahedron. And I was as an example for what they could do. Right. We're gonna have a bunch of their NFTs, a bunch of their artists up. They're like really intense in fashion in Hong Kong or whatever. Again, I'm like kind of low key realizing how big of a deal this is while I'm telling you guys because I've been just trying to keep it low key. But our friend Chan is a fucking baller. She's connecting us with people that are like way above our current weight class, which frankly is where we belong. So it's gonna be cool.
I know. I don't even get to talk to her anymore.
I know. It's stupid. You should, because she's amazing. Anyway, so I showed her, my little dodecahedron, the 2 pyramid thing over by my little house in Old World, my old house. And then I went and say, we could do this, but we should probably make a pathway over to Jen's village because Jen's village is nuts. It's like creativity, just decided to become sentient in and of itself and made a unicorn, right? And this is what it looks like.
Are the uplifters, yeah. We're coming to your town. We are the uplifters. We're coming to your town. It's all just ones and zeros. The old world is crumbling down. It's all just ones and zeros. The old world's crumbling down. We're coming to your town. We are the uplifters. Oh,
suppose I could make a longer version of that.
I don't know. I think that we should just make it into an NFT and put it on the blockchain.
That's what I'm saying. We could do the whole one as an NFT, and like maybe as like if I can figure out how to get the subscription model up for the season pass, have that be like you got to get all the way to tier 3, which means you like had to do everything for a chance to get it. Just have that sit on as the pinnacle collector piece for people that were ultra badasses for this coming season.
A potential Twitter space is coming to you live later this evening if you're in North America, where we'll be taking live gratitudes if I can get up in time. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week because you're all fucking awesome.